50 years old. I am 50 years old today. And I'm gonna tell you something. Them 50 years have flown by so fast in a blink of an eye. When you're living life and while you're in it, it just seems like it's slow and things are not moving fast. And I think back on some of the trials and tribulations I went through. When I look back, a blink. It was all in an instant. You know what I mean? I feel good though. I got some new dreams, some new goals, some new ideas. And man, these last 50 years have prepared me for what I want to do moving forward. Looking back on this experience of the last 50 years and seeing back, I just know the next 50 years are going to be even better. You know what I mean? Experience, wisdom, boy, it takes you a long way, because it took 50 years to get to where I'm at. And while I'm happy, I know there's a whole lot more ahead. And I realize and recognize that, man, I can dream even bigger, have even more. And when I say have more, not even necessarily materialistic, but be more, do more, be better, do better, not worry, not stress. Because when I look back at all the mishaps that's gone on, and I'm like, man, because now when you can look backwards, you can see most of them things had to happen. And one thing I do know is that all of those things was working in my favor, was working out for my better, was working out for my good. And I believe that solely right now, totally, that everything was working out for my good. Scripture right there. Even when it didn't look like it was working for me, it was working for me. And so as I go through the next half a century, I'm trusting that whatever come up is working for me, man. No more stress, no more worries, no more concerns and all of that. But I'm happy, man. Today we're about to go out to dinner. Earlier today we were out at my daughter. My daughter does this horseback riding academy where they teach them how to ride these horses and jump these things, and I don't know what you call them. She's taking classes there, and today they had a final event of the year in preparation for Christmas. And so they did that this morning. You see some clips here on the screen. Man, we had a good time. Which leads to my next point. I met this guy there. I think his name was Enrique. He came up to us, spoke English, and he was like, man, hey, so nice to meet y'all. Where y'all from? And he was like, I love the USA. And I think he said like 30 years ago when he turned 18, he said, Cartess, I bought a one-way ticket to the United States at 18. I didn't know anybody, flew into Texas. And I lived in Texas for 10 years. And he said, you know, in Texas, there's a lot of Mexicans, and I moved into a neighborhood where there was no Mexicans. I wanted to surround myself around all the American locals so I can learn English. I learned English in 1 year. And he's like, when I left Mexico, I made a decision. He said, I love music. And I said, I want to be in the music industry. And I said, I'm gonna go get me a job in the music industry, and I'm gonna learn the business. So he went, landed him a job in the music industry. I forgot exactly what he said that he did, but he worked in the music industry for 10 years, worked on the business side. Fast forward, 9/11 happened. I'm trying to get the mix of the dates match up. I don't know if he said 20 years or 30 years. The dates matched up, and he said there was a 9/11 happened. Yeah, 9/11 happened at the 10-year mark, and he decided to go back home to Merida, Merida was his home, and he was like, I love Merida. I was born and raised here. I've been here and the last 20 some years. And he was like, I came back, I opened up 2 record stores. This guy opened up 2 record stores and he opened up a bar down in Central. And I took everything that I learned and came back and opened up the business, doing what he loves, which really leads to my next point, you know, and that was so inspiring because just yesterday I was sitting down with my daughter, my 21-year-old, just kind of talking about her future and what she wanted to do with herself, and just leaning in on my 50 years of experience. You know, it's a simple question: what is it that you want to do? What do you truly want to do? And at 21, she's still trying to figure that out. You know, and so she's still thinking that through. She wants to be a firefighter. So she's kind of, and she visited that before and actually tried out for it, walked onto a site in Georgia and almost passed, but didn't quite pass the physical. So, and if she passed the physical, they were gonna bring her on, send her off to paramedic school, and then, you know, come back and work for the fire department. But she didn't make that. So, as I was talking to her, I'm like, look, it ain't too late for that. If you really want to do that, you need to come up with a plan. You just need to make the decision that this is what I want to do. Because if you want to be a firefighter, you can. People wake up every day and decide they want to be firefighters. But most people don't have the goals and the plans and the tasks necessary to lead them up to that point. But I told her, like, if you want this, it's yours. Map out a plan, make the decision that this is what you want to do, map out a plan, and do the research. What type of physical strength do you need? What type of exercises must you pass? How many push-ups, how many sit-ups, how many pull-ups, how fast you gotta run, how long you gotta hold your breath, whatever the requirements are. And for the next 12 months, go at it. What are the other requirements? This is where the research come in. And write all this stuff out on the paper, and then you work at that stuff every day. So the future, changing the future, is literally as simple as just making a decision. Problem is, most people don't know how to change the future, or they don't know what they want, and because they don't know what they want, they can't map out a plan. But you can change your future immediately. Like I always tell my daughter, I'm like, time doesn't stand still. Time, life is always moving. We're always moving. There's only 2 directions that you can go. You can move towards your goals and dreams intentionally, or unintentionally, you're moving away from your dreams or goals. So 2 places you can go: towards what you want or away from. And so the conversation was, well, how do I change it? How do I create my future? How do I make a new future? Well, as I just mentioned a moment ago, you have to initiate a thought about something that you want, something that doesn't exist yet. You have to make the thought. I want a new job. I want to move to Mexico. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a police officer, which is what my daughter in Florida did. She made a thought. And then imagine what that job would look like. Okay, I want to be a police officer. I want to work in Florida. I want to work for the sheriff's department. I want to blah, 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 or I want to be a fire marshal or whatever. I want to move to Cancun. You know what I mean? So what does that look like? And then step number 3, you anticipate the task or the steps that are necessary to make that happen. And this is all simple. And it really is this simple. And that's exactly what we did when we made the decision to move. And again, I'm gleaming on 50 years of experience. When I look back at all the choices I made, they all began with a thought. I thought about it, imagined it, and then I took steps. I mapped out some type of plan on how to get there or how to do the thing. Same thing when we first went to Columbia. You know, so if I want to be a sheriff's department. And, I got to go to school. I got to find a school, find out what the requirements are, submit resumes, find out the qualifications to get the job, and then go to school, blah, 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 blah. Then I go online, find the places where they're hiring at, and so on. And once you identify all that stuff, then you execute all of the steps. That's why I tell her to write it out on paper. Boom, 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 boom. Put it in a clear path, a career plan on the calendar. Every day you're working towards it. The power, and I got this from this site called Future Directed Therapy. The power to alter the course of your life lies in the present moment of awareness. However, we cannot hold on to the present moment because the present moment just passed. This present is past already. The future is always arriving. The now and the arrival of the future, they're one and the same. And you have the power to influence the future that will arrive to become your now experience. You know what I mean? So if you want something different, you'll need to think forward and plan for something different to arrive. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Being aware of the present moment gives you the opportunity to make conscious choices. In other words, if you don't like, if you'll become aware of what's happening in your life right now, if you don't like what you're dealing with right now, you can change it. You have to make a conscious decision, a conscious choice. You know what I mean? Once you make that choice, you can start moving in it. You know what I mean? So, man, I'm just rambling. That's 50 years, man. So I got some goals. Now, sometimes we got to get out of our own head and our own thinking. Sometimes our own thinking ain't enough to get us out. So we need some help. I've always talked about my poor experiences as it relates to managing my monies, my finances, and things like that. So when I was in the States, I bought some books because I don't know enough to get out. Hopefully the words appear correctly. Pillars of Wealth: How to Make, Save, and Invest Your Money to Achieve Financial Freedom. This book here, it's a lot more, it's about real estate, but oh my goodness, a lot of the principles and the fundamentals that they talk about in terms of net worth, savings, investing, making your money work for you, not just all about saving. As I started to read this, I'm like, good God, okay, this stuff makes sense. What in the world have I been doing? So Pillars of Wealth. I also bought The Richest Man in Babylon, and a lot of the stuff line up with what this guy's talking about in his book. You know what I mean? So I'm reading, I'm trying to create a new mindset, new thoughts, new beliefs, new patterns, create new habits, trying to change my old way of thinking. I bought this book here, Made Whole, a Get Good with Money workbook. Made Whole, the practical guide to reaching your financial goals. Like I say, I don't know enough. My thinking, I need to replace some of my old thoughts and habits and learn from folks that's doing this thing. I told y'all about Robert and his course. I'm learning how to day trade. Hidden Potential is another book, The Science of Achieving Greater Things. Like I said, I got some big, giant goals. I'm aware of my present moment, and I'm like, okay, these are the changes I want to make. These are the changes I am making, and I need a blueprint. Now I'm going through these books and I'm writing down these notes, writing down the blueprint, writing down the steps like I just told you, writing out all these tasks that need to happen. For example, whenever I get new deposits into my bank account, a certain percentage of it gonna get snatched up automatically, take me out the equation, and dumped into my other account so that that money can be used for savings and investing. I can't just let money just sit there. That money has got to go out and earn its due. It's got to earn, it's got to work. You know what I mean? So because I'm learning this, I'm like, okay, I can't just let money sit. Having all this money just sit ain't no good. That money got to earn. And I got a plan to work real hard for the next 2 years to rack up as much as I can so I can use the bulk of that money to work it so it can work for itself. So I can get to a place where it now becomes passive. Because this guy say, if you're spending more than 5 hours, I got to go back and look at my notes. I can't remember. He's saying if you're spending more than 5 hours a week or 5 hours a month, I can't remember, on managing your monies or something, he like, it's not passive income. You know what I mean? You know, getting a business, because working in the business can be a lot of work. A lot of folks get a business and start a business. Now they're working 40, 60 hours a week in the business and trying to use that as their income. It's just another job where you're overworking yourself, working harder. You might make more money, but if you're not taking that money and making it work for you, now he explains you might have to bust your butt for a couple of years to get to that place where it becomes passive. But and again, I'm still too green on this to be talking about it. I'm still learning. So I got this book here, Master What Matters. How can you win at life? What does the winning life look like, and how can you experience it? The key is focusing on what matters most. And this is good because I'm focused, 2024, I'm focused on personal development. In other words, my mindset, my thinking, and I'm focusing in on my finances. My savings and my investing. I gotta be intent on making sure the money I get, that I'm not giving it away, throwing it away. I gotta take a very defensive approach in keeping my money. Folks is always trying to come get your money. The stores is trying to get your money. The supermarket is trying to get your money. Families trying to get your money. Businesses is trying to get your money. Everybody trying to get your money. You gotta learn how to shut it all down. And I'm writing these notes out. You know what I'm saying? So, master what matters. So I'm compiling these notes from the books that I'm reading here, trying to get my mindset right. You know what I mean? 2024 gonna be different. I'm intentional about 2024. So I bought this book, How to Start Your Own Business and Make It Work. I've been helping folks start online businesses and businesses in general for over 25 years now. And I thought this book, I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna probably put together a course to kind of teaching people the basics of starting their own company. And I do it in my sleep. I've helped many others do it and be very successful. That is a gift of mine, helping people recognize their talents, recognize and show them how they can monetize their skill sets, how to monetize their knowledge, how to package up what they got and turn it into revenue. And so I'm like, all right, let me get this book. This will be a project that I work on in 2024 as well, because I love this type of stuff. Personal development and showing people how to start a business, that's me at the core. So then I also bought this other book. See, when I was in the States, I went all out. 3 hours a day, how entrepreneurs can multiply their income by working less and living more. In other words, he's basically teaching you how to optimize your day. And that's something I would love to do because I actually want more time. And again, none of this is get rich quick. None of this is getting to a point of a 3 hour day might take a year or two. You know what I mean? He's essentially trying to teach you how to focus on the things that matter most, which comes back to this, master what matters. Focusing in on the things that is high level, where it makes you the most money, and outsource the rest of the stuff or hire out the rest of the stuff to somebody else to do the mundane task and other simple things and you focus on the high level. So I did get this because I really do need to learn how to optimize my day even better. I got a pretty decent day where I got to optimize, but I'm trying to get it a little more fine-tuned, and so I'm pulling ideas. I like to read. I love to learn. So I'm happy for what's coming next because I'm aware of my present moment. I'm conscious of it. Some things I want to change, some things need to change, and I've already written out what I want, the new stuff I want. Today I'm gonna go out and eat and drink a whole bunch of margaritas. And it's my birthday, 50. If you like to contribute to a drink, buy me a drink, feel free to cash out me a little drink fund, a little snack fund. I got the CashApp on the screen. I'm gonna go out and enjoy it, you know what I mean? Because tomorrow, again, thinking about the present moment, the now, that just passed. Future will arrive in 1 second. I got to get my diet under control. So today is my intention. I'm intentionally starting tomorrow eating a more plant-based diet. I tried the carnivore while I liked it at the time. I just keep coming back to this plant-based regimen. My body seemed to like it better. And not that I like, because I love that carnivore. I had some beautiful experiences and my daughter had beautiful experiences, but it was hard for me to stay on it. But I've been able to deal with plant-based lifestyle the longest, and it's always been easier. The longest I went on a plant-based eating regimen, 90%, 85% raw, some cooked foods like beans and stuff like that. I found it easier to stay on this regimen. So tomorrow I will resume that. Today I will go out and buy some more fruits, some more vegetables so I can have it in the house. I probably need to buy a Vitamix. I've seen them in the store. And I'm gonna start my eating regimen. Hold on 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I had to stop and go to the bathroom. But yeah, I'm looking forward to starting my eating regimen. If I was smart, I would have bought a few books on plant-based eating and juicing and stuff like that. I'm very familiar with it. I spent a lot of time and research in the past, previously doing it. But I would have picked up a few more books while I was in the States. But I wasn't aware, thinking about what I just talked about, making yourself aware of the present moment and the things you like or don't like. So I didn't factor that into the equation until I started taking an inventory and writing down some stuff like just over the last couple of days. One, I'm a type 2 diabetic. And I've been off of my medicines because all of the walking I was doing here prior to getting in these rental cars, I was eating relatively much more healthier. And it's like when I went on that carnivore diet and came off, it became much more difficult to eat right. So my blood sugar is back up, my weight is back up. And so again, you gotta be aware. Man, the diabetes can be brutal on a person. People start losing their toes or losing their feet. They start going blind. They start all this peripheral nerve damage. It's not pretty. I knew a girl who went blind, and she was like 50 years old, went blind from her diabetes. And so I'm realizing that, okay, I'm 50. Time to get things on track because it ain't gonna end well if I don't get it under control. And again, that is the future if I continue eating the present way that I'm eating now. So tonight, I'm gonna go ahead, eat my little food, enjoy my little drinks, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get back on track and try my best to stay the course long term, indefinitely, and because it just ain't worth it. I'm at a different vantage point because I see a lot of people arriving here that I'm personally working with, and many of them are sick, dealing with all sorts of ailments, heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, numbness or no feeling or sensation in their body on one whole side, just gone. What else? All sorts of ailments. And I'm like, okay, that could be me. If I don't fix it, I'm at a place now where I don't know how my stuff look like on the inside, but it's been 50 years of improper eating, and I want a good quality of life. I don't want to be struggling for the next 25 years. Because it's one thing to be alive and then be hurting and then struggling for the next 25 years. Why? Because you ain't gonna die. You're just gonna be alive and struggling. I don't want that. You know what I mean? I don't want that. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna write up my blueprint, my plan, and try and stay this course. I know I might slip a few times in between, but the overall goal, ultimate goal, is by the end of next year be 100% dedicated and on task. I'd rather eat right and have a quality life, healthy quality of life moving forward. If that means giving up some things, I just got to give it up. Because I'd rather be here living a much more quality of life for as long as I can. So, again, if you like to contribute to my little drink tonight, my little birthday drink, cheers, and our content has been helpful, consider making a contribution. CashApp, $CartessRoss, Zelle, use my email address, Cartess@CartessRoss.com. There's a donation link on my website, moveabroadandthrive.com, and you'll see a link on the website, or if you're on a mobile device, you'll see the little hamburger menu in the top right corner. Click that, it'll expand, and you'll see a link that says donate. Click that, and you can make a contribution via credit card. So man, I'm looking forward, man. I ain't waiting until January to get started. I'm starting today, starting tomorrow. Not just on my health, but working on my finances and working on my money, getting it right. Want to learn more about trading? Check out Robert's website, www.slowlifetrading.com. That's going to play a big part in getting my finances in order, working this thing out with Robert's program over the next 1 to 2 years. I see the freedom and that I can have, and man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, moveabroadandthrive.com. Thank y'all for watching. Make your goals, man. Write them out. I have a goal setting course on the Move Abroad and Thrive Academy course. moveabroadandthrive.com. Click the link. Go to the website. There's a link. We have a course there called the Academy. Click on that. And man, it's about getting them goals set. So if you haven't joined our VIP, visit the website. Do that. Become a VIP member. You get access to me in the forums, ask all the questions you like. And I don't know if y'all are interested in talking about any of this stuff. If this is stuff that y'all would like to discuss inside the members area, post in the group and let me know that's something you're interested in, and maybe we'll create a separate group inside and keep each other motivated. So let me know.